There are about over 200 million unemployed people. The future is all about people who can imagine things, who can create businesses of their own. Entrepreneurship helps them in taking that first step. The internet was just born, it was young. Today we've completely moved on to a wireless internet, to a mobile internet. Social media has changed the way people interact with each other. Physical interactions are no longer happening as much as virtual interactions. So we are in fact shifting our lifestyles from the real world to the virtual world.
Welcome, viewers, to Bcubed, Breaking Boundaries with Sabeer Bhatia. And of course, welcome Sabeer Bhatia to this show. We hope to receive a lot of gyan from you on different subjects.
Thank you.
Welcome. Viewers, as you might know, that Sabeer Bhatia was the founder of Hotmail. But that's not all he was. He was, in fact, the founder of free email as we know it today. He brought about a paradigm shift in the way the world would communicate for the next many decades. And he would subsequently become a serial techpreneur. He studied at the BITS Pilani for a while and then went on to do his graduation at the California Institute of Technology, better known as Caltech. Subsequently, he did his post-graduation at the Stanford University. Later, he joined Apple Computers, where he worked for a while, and thereafter Firepower Systems. But then Sabeer was never the kind of a person who would be rest content with a career, which would go up slowly. He quit his job, became an entrepreneur, and founded Free Email. That's what he did. We particularly look forward to hearing a lot from him about his journey, about various subjects. But today, the subject that we are going to deal with is very close to Sabeer's heart: future of education. And Sabeer, the first question I would like to ask you here is that, we talk about technologies, we talk about education, you have lots to do with both. So, what are the new technologies that are going to have the maximum impact on education in times to come?
First of all, thank you very much for having me on the show, Javed. There are a number of new technologies that are going to have a revolutionary impact on education, not the least being artificial intelligence. Then we've got a whole slew of other technologies like augmented reality, virtual reality, that will completely change the whole paradigm of education and the manner in which education is imparted to children and to students and to future generations.
That's great. Would there be a requirement for a new set of skills, or how would skills now be sort of retrained into providing this kind of education?
Good question. For example, artificial intelligence will completely render a knowledge-based system useless. Today, knowledge is irrelevant. It's what you do with the knowledge that is of utmost importance. So what we need in this new form of education, the kind of skills that we need to impart to students are those that require imagination, that require creating new things, imagining new things that didn't even exist before. And so we need to change the manner in which we teach our children by emphasizing more on abilities of critical thinking as opposed to testing them on a system of knowledge. Because today knowledge is available everywhere, at our fingertips, either through online services such as Google, or even using large language models like ChatGPT. So it's very important now that we teach children, teach students how to think independently.
Viewers, Sabeer Bhatia has been a serial techpreneur, and his latest offering is Showreel. I leave it to him to exactly make us understand what Showreel is all about, but I'll kind of suffix a question to this, which is how is Showreel going to impact education, particularly in India? And what is Showreel?
So Shoril grew out of uh, my trying to solve the education problem, um, in especially in India, of one, education in India being outdated, out of sync. We always hear from companies that the skills that are taught in the traditional system of education in India are not good enough, for employment purposes, and people have to retrain a lot of these students, with modern skills, modern technologies. And to address that, a subject that I am very familiar with, entrepreneurship, I have created an entrepreneurship based course through an app. And the simplicity of this model is that it encourages critical thinking, it encourages students to think outside of the box. People download an app, they watch a few videos, they go on a journey, they have to answer a few critical questions. And if they are successful at answering these few critical questions, we give them a certificate of completion. Not only do we give them a certificate of completion, but we have tied up with a university in India, a central government university, Jamia Millia, to give them 6 units of credit for this course. So now they can use this to build upon, the course that they have completed, and they can further their education and go on to get a minor degree or major degree. The beauty of this whole model is that we extensively use artificial intelligence. All of the videos are created using artificial intelligence. The questions are also created using artificial intelligence. We test the skills of the individuals also by running their answers through an AI model. So the beauty of the whole model is infinitely scalable. Using an app now, we can educate 1 billion people. And I think in one area which is very much necessary, which is the area of critical thinking, and we can teach them to become entrepreneurs on their own. That is why I'm so excited about Showreel, and I think it will make a dent in the education system in India.
So you do believe that the job prospects or the future prospects of students will really improve with by using an app like Showreel?
Yes, yes, for sure. On two reasons, on two counts. One is, they get a certificate that is recognized by a central government university. It turns out that the government is one of the largest employers in the country. So this certificate will be recognized in the government. And second, we will teach them the basics of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is what is required to bring India out, of the situation it is in, which is there are about, over 200 million unemployed people, and the future is all about people who can imagine things, who can create businesses of their own, and entrepreneurship helps them in taking that first step. And I think critical thinking is what is necessary. So we will help people, create jobs of their own.
Sameer, there have been certain marked disparities in education, especially in a country like India. Now, how do you think Showreel bridges the gap between these, disparities or levels of people who education seekers, so to say?
Yeah, take for example university education. India simply does not have enough universities to be able to graduate all the children who want to go to university. That is why there is such a fierce competition to get into the top 5 or the top 10 universities in a country. uh, if we can change all of this and having and change flip the model wherein they can download an app and get themselves educated, we have solved the education problem. We don't in the future need to build all these universities to cater to the demands of the millions of children who want to go to university. We in fact flip the model and enable them to go to university by just taking education through an app. So that's how we are. Hopefully, we will bridge the disparities that exist, not just in India but in the entire developing world.
So, essentially, the Indian system of education, which has been more rote learning based, now, if it has to become more skill based, a little more practicable, how do you think this is going to happen?
Yeah. So
With
the first step is to change it from being rote based to inquiry based. Skills we can all learn, and skills keep changing over time. The requirements keep changing over time, especially in an age of artificial intelligence, where a lot of the skills that were required to be done by humans are being done by computers or by machines. So what is important is inquiry-based system of learning, and Showreel's first step into an entrepreneurship-based course encourages inquiry-based system, which encourages inquiry-based thinking, because none of the questions that we ask on the entrepreneurship course can be learned from a book or from watching a video. It is a collection of experiences that people have that enable them to answer these questions. So inquiry-based system is the key, and a good inquiry-based system leads to a skill-based, system of teaching.
which brings me now to two very important aspects while dealing with education. One is the mental health of learners, the, the, the people who are being educated, regardless of their age and status. And the second I'll come to later, but first, do you think there is a way in which we can intervene to sort of look at the mental health issue?
Absolutely. It has been proven time and time again that happy children, absorb the most, or happy students leads to a happier outcome. The mental health of all learners is absolutely essential. A happy learning environment is requisite for success, for a successful, educational institution, if you will. So there is no question about that. Um, and increasingly, statistical studies are proving that unnecessary pressure of examinations, pressure of constant testing, actually is detrimental to learning. you know Unfortunately, our system, and I'm a part of it, and I an outcome of it is kind of broken because we overemphasize excellence in tests, excellence in examinations, which, like I said, in today's day and age is completely irrelevant. In fact, I would argue that it kills creativity. We want to create children, we want to create students who are imaginative, who can dream the future, not those who are excellent at regurgitating the past.
Sabir, what do you have to say about personalized learning as also the fact that education or learning is really a lifelong process and goes across the boundaries of age groups.
Yeah, first thing is personalized learning is one of the newer trends in the whole field of education. Previously, we thought of education as one size fits all, where everybody is subjected to the same kind of subjects, and if at all, the variation came after our 10th grade, where people chose a different option, whether they went into arts or into commerce or into science. Well, that is, putting people in very streamlined kind of fields of thinking. And if you look at all modern innovation has really come when there has been a cross pollination and of different fields. For example, let's take Apple Computer. Apple Computer started its journey as a computer company, but after Steve Jobs came to save it in 1997, he turned it into a media company or a company that makes iPhones and iPods, and lessening the emphasis on the computer aspect of it. Now, that kind of innovative ideas and thinking has also to be embraced by education, where we have to find natural inborn talents of students, of children. And that means that they have to have a personalized path to learning. You cannot put a one size fits all. If somebody wants to excel in music, or somebody has an affinity and a natural skill in mathematics, for example, you have to encourage those individual learning. So for this, you need to give them a personalized mechanism of learning. For example, in my son's school, there is a kid who is, in the second grade, but he's doing sixth grade math because he's a genius in mathematics. And this computers and artificial intelligence can identify, you know, personal traits, personal abilities, and then develop them. That's the meaning of personalized learning. Now, the second bit is all of our life and livelihoods and lifestyles are changing at a very rapid pace constantly. So, education is really a lifelong process. You never stop learning. The day you stop learning is the day you actually mentally die. I mean, look at how much our lives have changed in the last 15, 20 years. 20 years ago, the internet was just born, it was young. Today, we've completely moved on to a wireless internet, to a mobile internet. Social media has changed the way people interact with each other. Physical interactions are no longer, happening as much as virtual interactions. So we are, in fact, shifting our lifestyles from the real world to the virtual world. And who knows what this new dawn and era of artificial intelligence will usher. So that's why I believe that the one thing that we have to keep doing is learning new ideas, learning new technologies, and adapting to this rapidly changing world that we live in.
Good. This is listening to you is by itself a learning experience for me personally. But before I come to my last point, which is going to be on sustainability, I missed out on a couple of things about viewers, about Sabeer Bhatia initially. What better a person to talk to about entrepreneurship and the change in education than Sabeer Bhatia? Sabeer he's a product of some of the best institutions in the world. In India, he had a couple of years at the BITS Pilani. Then thereafter, he went to the Stanford University and subsequently to the California Institute of Technology, or Caltech, as you might have it. So he's had the best education. Thereafter, he joined Apple Computers. And what a company, Apple Computers. And he worked for a bit with Firepower Systems and then decided that he's not going to traverse the rest of his life, step by step. He became an entrepreneur and he produced something so exciting that changed the way the world communicates. So that's Sabeer Bhatia, who's now going to talk about sustainability and the importance of sustainability and how it can that how the education of sustainability can be imparted to children and the new generation for them to be able to better appreciate the concept. Sabi.
Thank you. Yeah, sustainability is very important. Whether you like it or not, climate change is real. All of our lives are interconnected, and we need to teach that to children. A lot of the education that we impart to children is based on, what kind of skills they can develop, how they can find economic employment using those skills. But really, all of this is irrelevant if we don't take care of Mother Nature. We actually live in a world that comprises mountains and rivers and snow, rainfall, and all these patterns are changing very rapidly. For example, the Indo-Tibetan Plateau, which is like the home to, almost rivers that feed uh, more than half the world, are rapidly, the Indo-Tibetan plateau is rapidly becoming devoid of ice. It's melting. The glacier is melting. That's just one example, and I'm not a science expert, but climate change is real and it's impacting us all. I mean, look at what's going on in Delhi right now with the extreme winters. Parts of US are under extreme weather conditions, and every year these patterns keep changing. So that is all uh, related to sustainability. And I think we have to teach our children that the meaning of sustainability is use only those resources that are necessary for subsistence of life. Uh, you know, and obviously to protect nature as much as we can, uh, to make sure that we are in harmony with nature, to make sure that we do not have a rapidly dwindling animal population. We are part of, we come from Earth and we go back to Earth. And that's the simple message that needs to be incorporated, in my humble opinion, in the school systems of the world as well.
So you what the essence of what you have brought about so far with regard to the future of education is that it has to be a well rounded system, more in tune with the reality of times, and more in tune with what's coming up in the future, which we foresee, and all that. Of course, the other thing that Sabeer brings to the show is that he was also on the board of the very, very well known and prestigious institution, Caltech, of which he's also an alumni. So he's actually had first hand dealing with education and contributions. So thank you very much, Sabeer, for being with us on this talk on the future of education. And we look forward to having you for the next uh, round on entrepreneurship.
Thank you very much. And there's one area that I have missed, which I think I would love to add,
Please.
and which is the area of taking care of your body, you know, exercise, physical development. We have all spoken about education in the mental realm, and one area that we missed out was, all-round physical development, and nothing is more important than the saying, a healthy body houses a healthy mind. So it's very important that, along with everything else that we teach our children about artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, we also emphasize the all-round physical development. So they have to, find something, some physical activity that engages their minds. And a physical activity has to be outside of computers and screens. Today, one of the biggest challenges that children face is that they're addicted to screens and computers. We have to get them out from the virtual world into the real world and pick an activity, a sport, something that exercises their limbs, because, like I mentioned before, a healthy body houses a healthy mind. Thank you very much for having me on this show.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Sabeer, and see you in the next episode.